big play there by Legion to pick up the first 2 kills of the game, including First Blood, but going down as well, Nyentenso. But that was a really nice play and a bit of over-aggression. Of course, TSM, I think, can afford that as long as they can keep Kog'Maw from farming.
That is very interesting to mention as well. TSM overextending down there. Corki doesn't have a massive farm lead against Kog'Maw, but Kog'Maw now with a kill and assist to his name. Corki only with the assist. The kill for TSM.
Oddone actually going down onto Nubish. He's chasing him down with red buff, but Nubish going to flash over the wall and escape. So another close call there by Legion. A burned flash from Nubish will make him a little bit more vulnerable in lane.
But now Nubish has that blue buff, so he's going to be able to spam spells to his heart's content. That is going to zone Corki and Soraka very, very hard. Soraka's going to have to use those infuses to keep Janna at bay rather than having Nyentenso just go down with the Fire Arcane Barrage. And look at this. No Soraka in lane means that Nyentenso will play all day and just wailing away on Chaos with those Bio Arcane Barrages, taking him down to below half health before Soraka even gets back to lane.
Yeah, really nice play there. And again, Cruiser going to be pushing the lane out a little bit now. Now getting the 3rd level of his Flame Spitter, he's going to head back. But now some damage going now on bot lane.
Yen's trying to pick up a kill on Xpecial, but Oddone was just waiting in the wings there. Is he going to pick up the kill with the passive, though? Yes, he does. So even though he does go down, they trade 1 for 1, making the best of the situation you possibly could in that bot lane.
And Kog'Maw having low farm right now, but you know, he's already down 8 farm, which by 5 minutes is a lot at the professional level of play. But he does have 2 kills, and Chaos has none. So the gold right now actually going to be in the favor by about 500 for Kog'Maw, and they're going after a very gutsy dragon here. The red buff actually going to be doing some work. They're switching the targeting to Nubish, and they're going to take it down with a series of consumes from Loud Immortus, and it's going to be uncontested. They do have a pink ward there, no wards from TSM, and that'll give Legion an early lead here. Smite going down, and Loud Immortus will clean it up slowly.
Slowly but surely. They do net themselves that dragon, so just boosting themselves a little bit ahead in the gold lead. As you said, Kog'Maw was a little bit down in farm, taking a quick look at the gold tab. 2.3k now for Kog'Maw to Corki's 1.8k. So that dragon and the farm that Kog'Maw does have making a huge difference in addition to the 2 kills he picked up.
That's right, and looks like Reginald and Wild Turtle dead even in CS in mid lane. Wild Turtle going back and picking up a couple early Doran's rings. An interesting thing that I saw Skara talk about on Reddit actually, Wild Turtle did an AMA.
Ooh, Cruiser in the top lane actually. He was getting ganked by the Oddone. Dyrus got extremely, extremely low though, and Cruiser just kind of turning the gank around. Oddone does have a red buff. TF is going to teleport in with his ult right there. Cruiser gets gold card, decides to turn in onto Oddone. Is he going to pick himself up a kill? No, he will not, but Loud Immortus is charging and has the blood boil. Can he catch up to Oddone? Reginald says nay with a gold card. Loud Immortus does not want to quit though. He wants to kind of go past this a little bit, maybe force a tower dive issue. Gragas is here as well. Another gold card from Reginald, again stopping the advance here. Reginald kind of caught between 2 champions, but does have a tower right there in Legion. Not going to be able to press that issue any further, and Cruiser dies.
Well, Wild Turtle tried what he did there last game once again, which was to clean up a kill somewhere around second turret. It did work last game onto Dyrus, but it didn't work this game onto Oddone. Oddone did not go into the brush there and try and warp out. He instead went all the way back to second turret. So there, I think TSM learning a little bit from the mistakes and the aggressive kind of behind tower diving that Wild Turtle is wont to do.
Yes, indeed. So TSM kind of picking up the tricks from Team Legion, and Legion has the slightest gold advantage, only a couple hundred, which is basically nothing much in the beginning stages of this game. And going back to what you said about TF and Gragas having relatively even farm in the mid lane, you don't really see that often from a Twisted Fate. Gragas has the barrel and has an excellent zoning mechanism, not to mention the fact that he's going to be able to deal lots and lots of damage to those minions and farm up very, very quickly. We do see now that TF has decided to go top, the CS difference is about 10, but Reginald, that's just a testament to how much you've been practicing Twisted Fate. We do see aggression meanwhile in the bottom lane here. Nyentenso and Nubish trying to pressure Chaos and Xpecial, forcing them back to their tower. Xpecial does have a little bit of CS lead over Nyentenso, but is taking a lot of damage, and Nubish being very aggressive on Corki as well. Xpecial trying to do all he can right there with those star calls. There's a Howling Gale that knocked them up and try to force them back. Nubish getting kind of low, but Nyentenso with the Bio Arcane Barrage just too strong at poking right now and continuing to push Xpecial back. Ultimate is there as well. Corki's going to pop the Gatling gun though. That's a lot of damage going on. Nyen's going to have to flash out of there. Flash. Oh, a Valkyrie forward from Chaos. Not going to be enough. Double kill will be picked up right there. And look at the Wish just negating all the damage from Kog'Maw's passive there as Chaos picks himself up a very nice 2 kills.
That was a beautiful play by Chaos and Xpecial, but also a massive mistake for the bot lane there from Legion. You know, I chalk this up to probably the inexperience that Nubish and Dien have playing with each other. It looks like there was some sort of miscommunication on going in. They were both quite low, and a very risky maneuver, especially when you're facing a Soraka at level 6. They knew her ult was up, so a little bit of a questionable call there. Will get TSM a couple kills on a beautiful Valk in by Xpecial, and they are now up about 1,000 gold.
Yes, indeed, and with that 1,000 gold, Chaos is going to go back and pick himself up a Ruby Crystal and a Longsword, so he is going for that Phage first to be able to trade very well with this aggressive Kog'Maw in the bottom lane. Kog'Maw does have a pickaxe to his own name, though, so he's going to be dealing a decent amount of damage, but if those Phage pots land on Kog'Maw, Kog'Maw already very little escape mechanisms to his name, going to be in a very bad place. Much similar is Cruiser the Bruiser. He's going to get Twisted Advances under the tower right, though. Ooh, there's an Equalizer to try to capitalize on something from Odd1's little overextension there. Magpie Ultimate will go down right there, and the Maelstrom will negate a lot of that damage coming out from Cruiser, so he could just get away. A lot of Mortis is not done, though, walking right on top of a ward. Wants to try to turn something around on Darius. Lands the Ice Blast. Red buff slow as well. Cruiser a little bit too far back, though, because there were 2 people in his lane. Just decides to back off of this one.
And in the meantime, Reginald having some nice harass onto Wild Turtle, making him go back. Apparently TSM is having Skype problems right now, so they're going to fix that, and we will be off pause in a second for you guys. But what I wanted to say earlier, which is really interesting, is that I got interrupted by some action that was going on, but now I have a great window to talk about it, is that Wild Turtle, after IPL, did an AMA on Reddit, and one of the questions that actually Skara asked from Dignitas was, why do you level Body Slam instead of Drunken Rage as your second ability? Of course, he's going to level Barrel Roll first, and Drunken Rage is great if you're going to be in a prolonged team fight situation where it does the damage reduction, gives you more AD, so if your auto attacks have to do more damage, but Body Slam giving you that great slow, and really it just does a lot more upfront burst damage. So Wild Turtle's strategy with Gragas is really to get in, do as much damage as he can, and then get out of the fight. So he wants to lower the cooldown on that Body Slam so he can do that burst damage more frequently, and also be able to move out of a fight if he hits an early Body Slam as well. So that's just an interesting tidbit there. Most Gragas players tend to do the Drunken Rage second, but a different school of thought coming from Wild Turtle. Instead of using just that Body Slam for its utility and its escape mechanisms, using it more offensively and as a burst tool instead.
And that's very, very awesome to see. That's why Gragas is dealing so much damage nowadays. If Wild Turtle is going to be maxing the abilities that add to that ability power damage, well, why not? And in a team fight, if you hit more than one target with that Body Slam, that's a lot of Gragas damage right there.
And a lot of slow as well.
A lot of slow as well. So, interestingly enough, Gragas kind of having a hard time with the Twisted Fate in the lane that's gotten a Philosopher's Stone and a Heart of Gold to his name, and very little ability power early on.
Yeah, I mean that is an interesting build. You know, he's probably going to be. He's definitely going for that late game build, and of course this is going to be, you know, a late game comp coming out of.
Ooh, Chaos getting extremely, extremely low here. There is an ultimate coming out from Reginald's Twisted Fate. He's going to teleport right on top of Nientenso right there. Wants Chaos to try to bait himself out for a little bit more damage. Zephyr goes off. Gold card not quite in tower range, but it will be enough. Reginald will take down Yen right there, and just kind of walking around trying to get himself some CS with that passive. Not going to be enough. Uh-oh. Wild Turtle coming over the wall there with a Body Slam.
Oh.
Not going to be in time to pick up Chaos, but can they go on to Reginald? He's getting it a little bit low himself. Has a blue buff too, so he'll be a very nice kill. Barrel over the wall is not going to land on anything, and uh-oh. Maokai's coming in from the left side as well, so Legion might want to try to get out of here, and they are just going to decide to farm up and back off.
You know, I do find it a little bit interesting that...
top lane, they're not going to let us stop, Monty. A lot of Mortars coming in for a gank, decides to pop the absolute zero. Ignite goes down as well onto Dyrus. Red buff is ticking away. Cruiser the Bruiser taking a little bit too much tower damage. That Dyrus is not gone down yet. Flash thrower from Cruiser. Are they going to land? Yes, Electro Harpoon does land. Cruiser's going to walk into a bush. Dyrus with the Heath-on strikes is standing very well. Looked like he might turn around on Cruiser, but Cruiser will wind up netting himself a kill in that top lane.
Yeah, even Wish couldn't save him. Coming off of Soraka, but now Chaos going to clean up on Cruiser in top lane, rotating top and picking up that kill under the turret with his rockets.
A wild Chaos appears from out of nowhere, and Rumble will indeed go down and pay for picking up the kill on his buddy Dyrus right there. TSM now on the offensive, 7 kills to 4 in their advantage, and now they're the one with a 1.5k gold lead as we go into the 12-minute mark, where Dragon should be respawning relatively soon, Monty, because Nunu and Janna did take it extremely, extremely early.
That's right. Actually, we should be seeing it up quickly. By the way, Dyrus' teleport now almost off of cooldown. You can see, by the way, Dyrus has picked up 3 Null Magic Mantles. So I assume what this is going to be eventually actually, I mean, we can tell it's a Wit's End right now and going to be a Merc Treads, but I also think that the third one will eventually be a Guardian Angel.
Oh, definitely. It's basically a staple to get all those items on an Aurelia. Interestingly enough, this is why Cruiser's having such a hard time to go against Dyrus now. 130 magic resistance, it's not a little bit. That's just a huge, huge number that anybody's going to have problems with, especially this Gragas right here. So you have Rumble in the mid lane as Legion looks like they're going to be going down and pick up the Dragon as soon as it respawns. Rumble's going to pop the Equalizer on Redzone over here, trying to pick up a kill. Nubish going to land the Zephyr as well, and Aurelia did actually back off right there, so Redzone's going to go down.
Diane actually getting very low outside of that Dragon picket. They did take a very quick Dragon on the back of Kog'Maw and Nunu, so really nice work there. Of course, that Blood Boil and Consume going to be chunking that Dragon very, very quickly, especially with the Bio-Arcane Barrage being leveled first and dealing that percentile damage from Kog'Maw. Now, we do have a 600, 700 gold lead here from TSM, but I'm actually concerned that it's not enough. They've done a great job of slowing down the end. Actually, action unfolding here as Dyrus comes into mid.
Teleport does come down, and there's an odd one twisted advance. Nubish has to pop the ultimate to try to reposition everybody and get them out of there. Legion will not wind up taking that tower down today, but they have forced the teleport out of Dyrus and did stop him from free farming the top lane as Gragas had to recall, taking too much damage from the aggressive Dyrus.
Yeah, what I was going to say there was with only this small gold lead, they now have over 1,000 gold, but it's small at the 13-minute mark for the kind of threat that Legion presents in the late game. You know, Nian, they have done a good job of containing him at 2 and 4, but he does have 4,100 gold, and Chaos has only a 500 gold advantage, and Kog'Maw going to be so much more deadly in the late game. So I actually am a little bit concerned that the 700 gold difference for TSM will not be enough moving as we get closer to this 20-minute mark.
It's going to be very interesting indeed to see if they are able to increase this, because what they did a good job of last game was, even though they were down 2,000 or 3,000 gold to Legion, they stayed within that 2,000 or 3,000 gold until Legion really took that decisive team fight that we saw on the replay from last game. Can Legion do the same?
Locust is one of the focus as well. The Ignite is on the last hit.
The Soda ultimate hits everybody. Rise takes that Orianna.
Will Kevin falls down? No, he survives it just barely. The attack here going in. Paranoia down. Team Solo Mid will win the MLG Spring Championships. Ocelot by the skin of his teeth getting another kill and makes it out alive.
How did he survive that one? That was incredible.
Ocelot taking so much pain. Can they get wings in time? He's trying to run away by the hands of Salty as he gets a quadra kill for Salty. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to MLG Raleigh. It is going to be CLG Black versus Team Dynamic. We've seen these guys play. Hood Stomper's been playing fantastically well. Zion Spartan was playing very well on that top lane, but Dignitas were too much for them. So we are here. This is the loser bracket. Who will make it in the semi-final versus Dignitas? That is the question. Ooh. Dan, you've been watching the games. You've been analyzing these games. Really, who do you think is the favorite coming into this one?
I actually favor TD. They did come from, you know, a step above Black. So, you know, back at this stage in the game, I still put my money on TD. They've just performed really well, even against Dignitas. You know, they showed some true grit.
They are the Rugrats, I believe, is their nickname that everyone's been using for them. They are the youngsters, and you can just see the
Rugrats.
The Rugrats. I think I'm actually like,
oh, they're so
twice
cute.
I'm like twice the age of some of these guys, which is actually a little bit worrying for me. Maybe that just means I'm really old.
I think I can say they're really cute because I'm twice their age too, right?
You're twice the age too. That's all right. That makes me feel all right. We are into the picks and bans, so let's get this game underway straight away. Immediately I can see 14 Dynamic, Twisted Fate and Gragas being banned out, and Olaf and Alistair being banned out by CLG Black. Malphite being followed in there. So immediately things getting underway. Shen banned out. So pretty standard bans coming out here. You know, how is the Wild Turtle effect going to work out for CLG Black? It seems to be working very well for them so far. We saw his crazy twisted fate play, which is why that ban's come in. Gragas was played massively well at IPL Face-Off, which, you know, it's understandable they've gone with these bans. It means they've researched the teams very well. First pick coming in, and it's going to be Nunu again for Ninto Dead X.
You know, I think Wild Turtle, even if you just ban his Twisted Fate and Gragas, then, you know, those are two of his most played this tournament and the tournament before. So, you know, I think he's pretty versatile. From past experience, he plays top, he plays mid, he plays bottom. So in terms of versatility, he has a wide selection of champion to play from. But definitely they're afraid of that Gragas, they're afraid of that TF. So, you know, it's good to ban out champions that you don't want to deal with.
Okay, and just speaking with the other casters, Tom is going to be doing the spectating for us in this one. He was talking about how Vladimir was absolutely dominating in the last game for CLG. He managed to land his ultimate twice in a row and basically won out 2 team fights completely clear. It was very close up to that point. CLG Black just picked up Vlad again.
Like, one thing I want to know is what's Vlad's win percentage this tournament? Vlad has been doing phenomenal this tournament. Even when he's in a game that loses, you know, he's just doing so much. So I think I'm just going to paraphrase, but Reaper from Zubul Blaze said Vlad's too strong, and he's been very strong this tournament.
It wasn't a paraphrase. That's a classic GIF right there, where you turn in and grin into that screen. Everybody knows it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. You can see Vlad too strong.
Vlad too strong.
Then that winning smile comes out from Dan. So it is going to be Tarek and Rumble being picked up. Let's have a listen in on CLG Black, I believe it is. We're going to see how they are going to go with this one.
If you want to verse against that, you're versing a Tarek, Corki,
probably Corki.
Yeah, Tarek, Corki, or Tarek Graves.
Sona or Lulu? One of those.
Sona.
Wait, so it's
Corki or Graves? Which AD would you think is better?
Graves, for sure. Graves for sure. Anything tanky.
Graves?
Because I can just sit back then.
Graves?
I don't have to get stunned.
I think Ezreal's better.
No, what?
I'm not trolling.
Fuck Ezreal.
I'm not trolling.
Ezreal's son is a strong lane, but
winning, but
just
are you that beast?
I'm not trolling. I think Ezreal's better.
No. Do you trust me, Devon?
Do you trust me?
Do you trust me? I'm asking you right now. Bro to bro, do you trust your boy? I'm asking you.
Yo, what am I getting? What am I getting?
Alright, pick Graves.
Oh, I love this. This is it. Bro to bro. Do you trust me?
Oh, they're taking both Easy and Graves.
This is Wild Turtle. Oh, I was going to... Oh, man. I thought we were going to see what we had in the prize fight. I'm looking down at Tom because they had Ezreal in the mid lane and went absolutely shredded. TSM, that was against Reginald, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Wild Turtle went mid versus Reggie at face-off, and he was just not expecting it. He was thinking, oh, I'm going to go against an AP Ezreal. Oh, dang, he went armor ped.
How does it feel to refer to him as Reggie? Bearing in mind he's Andy, your brother.
I don't know. It's just interchangeable to me. I call him Reggie. I call him Andy. I call him Baby Beast. I have a lot of nicknames.
He's got a few little nicknames that we don't know about?
Yeah, some's too embarrassing. I'm gonna stop it right there.
Yeah, you're gonna stop right there. So Cassiopeia is gonna be picked in that mid lane. What is Wild Turtle gonna go against him, or is that gonna be Wild Turtle's choice in that mid lane?
I don't know. I think he's just going to go standard. He's going to go bottom lane. And, like, one thing that's interesting is, you know, you hear Black talk about it, and it's like, oh, am I going to go easy, or I'm going to go Corki, I'm going to go Graves, and they switch back and forth, and I guess bro to bro, they trusted his easy.
Bro to bro. You know, they tried to go with Graves, but, you know, it was Hoodstomp, wasn't it, that was basically saying, no, I want Ezreal.
Wanted easy.
Yeah, so it is going to be Karthus in the mid lane. Is that going to be a final pick? They seem to be still having the discussion about it. Not too sure whether that's going to be the final pick. Sid's making that pick for them, as it is at the moment. Corki and Tarek in that bottom lane. It's going to be Nunu in the jungle, and of course, Rumble on that top lane. It is Karthus getting locked in, so there are your two teams locked in. Honestly, in terms of late game, I would say CLG Black are looking very strong there.
Oh, CLG Black always run that hyper late game composition. You know, Vlad is very strong late game. Same with Karthus. Easy isn't as hyper as, say, Tristano or Kog'Maw, but he's got a strong mid and late game. So they're just a very balanced team in this case.
So let's cut to commercial, guys. We are going to be back. It is going to be Team Dynamic right there on your screens versus CLG Black. Game 1 starting soon.
not yet rated.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to MLG Raleigh Summer Championships. It is Team Dynamic versus CLG Black. Who will win this game? That's the question. Dignitas await them in the semi-finals. The semi-finals will be a extended best-of-3 series. So really, it could well be a very long day tomorrow. And of course, to see who they're going to meet in the finals. As it is at the moment, Zuna just around the side there on Malphite. Has played very well throughout this tournament, as has Team Dynamic. Just saw them putting in a really good performance against Dignitas and potentially facing Dignitas. Of course, this is all about the Season 2 points, Dan. I mean, there's a lot up for grabs, especially the teams that are still remaining in it. It's really about shuffling for position, who they're going to face when they get to their Northern Regionals finals next week.
Exactly, and these teams aren't guaranteed to make it to regions either, so you really just want to put your best foot forward and place as high as you can, because just by placing higher than another team, that can mean that you're replacing them at the Season 2 next week.
Yeah, and we talked about how teams are hiding things. These guys are at a position where they can't hide anything.
Yeah,
they have
can't
to go
hide.
all out.
Well, the thing with like Dignitas, Curse, and Evo is they can just go standard. They don't have to go as hard and reveal everything. And really just go for as high as they can without revealing anything, and they'd be happy. But these guys, they definitely want to show everything they got because they need to.
Is TSM Evo placing 8th standard?
Placing 8th standard.
That's
I don't
what
know.
they did. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh there.
That's pretty harsh. They're burning so hard right now.
I thought they did well. I thought they were going to get a lot further, but as it is, Team Dynamic and CLG Black are looking very good in this tournament, but CLG Black looking like they're going to go for a good invade here. I'm not too sure Nintendo Dex. Oh, they're going to walk straight. Cassiopeia straight into the face there. He's Paradoxical is going to surely get dropped down. Can they get more off it? It's actually Sona that picked up the kill. That is less than ideal. Bloodwater taking away that kill with that tricord, but
that's interesting. The thing with Cassiopeia is you saw that she walked into him. It's like she saw them but kept on walking forward. It's actually, since they're around the kink of that brush, she actually closed the distance because we had full vision of the map, so she actually didn't see them until about a quarter of a second until she walked into them.
So we have got a lane swap coming on here. Psycho Sid's going to be careful. He's going to get stunned with that dazzle from Pixel, I expect. As soon as he steps out a little bit forward, he knows that Pixel's sitting in that bush. He doesn't want to go any further forward. So the lane swap is on. At the top lane, that means that it is going to be Rumble, which will be on your screen right now, as we can see also. Honestly, I don't know how this one's going to step out. I mean, how do you stand with these ones? Zion Spartan's going to... He's with Rumble this time around. We've seen him with Nidalee quite a few times, but Hoodstomp and Bloodwater have been playing very well in this tournament.
You know, both should be able to lane pretty well. Rumble's got that shield. He can block some damage. He can farm with Harpoon, but it's still going to be very tough. I'm actually more afraid...
Sit down the bottom, actually, just getting caught out there. He's just going to get pushed on the turret. Half his health chunked off and one single dazzle. That's the difference down the bottom now. I think that, you know, Vlad is actually going to struggle a little bit more compared to Rumble.
It's a tough call. The thing with Vlad is he does have his pool and he can heal. So if the early game, I think Vlad is going to struggle more. He's not going to be able to sustain as hard. But as soon as he hits about level
mid lane
3 to 5, he'll start pulling ahead.
There's a 3 gank coming on mid lane. Wild Turtle's going to get caught out there. The stun comes through. That's the dazzle. But ironically, Paradoxical wasn't ready for that. The jungler and support came around, so there must have been communication errors there, because Paradoxical was a long way off from avoiding that one and didn't have his flash to try and get in there and get the damage down.
The thing with that is he burnt his flash because of the gank at level 1. And if you look at the line of the creep, it was actually pushed a little bit further than it was right now, because if you move forward, that would telegraph that something's going on. If you move at any point past the creep wave, mid's going to back off anyway. So it was just unfortunate, but the flash did burn onto Wild Turtle, so it wasn't for nothing anyways.
No, and there was no flashes used by Team Dynamic Core. We are seeing Paradoxical getting a good bit of damage down on Wild Turtle there, forcing him back. You can see he's actually after going to back off from that one, used all his health pots now. So Paradoxical is going to get a lot of free farm for a while now. It's still got 4 health pots, so completely untouched in that mid lane. Meanwhile, down that bottom, Psycho Sid getting pushed again there by Zig. Zig doing all the damage to Sid. Sid's going to struggle for a while here, a little bit low on that health Zion Spartan, meanwhile, on that top lane, is obviously out-leveling Hoodstomp and Bloodwater, but only just. So he is just about being zoned out ever so slightly, but Zion still managed to keep in there and get the last hits.
So if you look at the HP pop, both top and bottom solos
But look at the farm difference.
The farm difference isn't too big. It's 7 to 10. 3 isn't a lot. I think I can't tell which side has a big creep wave. They're about similar, so Vlad is doing slightly better, but you really can't tell yet.
Oh, they're diving Sid down the bottom there. That's going to be a 3-man dive on the tower. Does manage to Valkyrie pull away, but he is surely going to drop down. It will be Zig that picks it up. He was taking the tower hits as well, and that is going to be first blood. Sorry, not second blood, I guess you could call it. It's like one of those posts you see on Reddit. First. As it is at the moment, Zion Spartan's getting parked on the top lane as well, taken down very low, but just about managed to back away. Of course, Zion Spartan will have that shield. That is going to be a very quick tower, though. 5 minutes 40 on the tower. I think that's actually beaten the Zuby Blaze.
I'm a little curious why he went so deep on that. He just went for it until he almost died, then flash out. I felt like it was just waste right there.
Yeah, they're actually pushing the top lane. Turret was also going to go down. Hoodstomp could take it down in a couple of more hits. The minions will do it for him, though. Instead, he's just going to continue farming up there. He did have Zuna coming round to try and join him, but that are two very, very quick turrets there. So 6 minutes, both top and bottom turrets have both gone down. So those AD support lanes working out very well. Mid lane, though, they are going to catch on towards Paradoxical. Wall of Pain comes down. Zuna's going to flash. There goes the Twisted Advance, and that's going to be an easy drop for Wild Turtle there. Very good gank.
He probably could have lived that if he just walked and hugged that wall and just flashed over. He just wasn't expecting Maokai to catch up, so he probably could have lived that if he wanted to. But having that flash up, he can be a little bit more aggressive and can probably convert that kill as soon as he hits level 6 onto Karthus, though.
We have a little bit of a gathering in the middle for CLG Black. But are they going to continue through? Looks like Ezreal is going to return to that top lane, so he's going to continue the farm against Zion Spartan. They've got to be careful they don't just leave it at a one-on-one. Meanwhile, Zig is going for a little bit of an invade here. Blue buff is going to be up in around about 10 seconds time. Puts that ward down, Zig does, for that blue buff. So Team Dynamic going to try and go for the steal. They're also going to try and close in on Psycho Sid here on this bottom lane. You can see 3-man starting to gather around. They're not going to go for the gank there. They're just going to go for the farm. Pings are down there, so blue buff will be spawning in a moment, and they'll be able to get in and get that steal. You can see that Paradoxical is just coming around the side, but he's walking through wards. It's actually going to be an early dragon.
Like, one thing that it's beneficial for TD is they have their AD support bottom lane, so at any point they can send 4 people to dragon while the other team can't. So in terms of advantage, I'd give the advantage to TD, even though they're behind a little bit, just because of the positioning.
And they do pick up that dragon, so Smite was used there. They did catch a glimpse of CLG Black closing in around it. CLG Black will have the timing on that one. Zion Spartan was also heading down south if he would be required, but instead he goes back towards that top position. In terms of farm between them, the actual 2 bruisers, or, well, I don't know whether you can call Vlad a bruiser, but Zion's same with Rumble, I guess.
Yeah.
The 2 AP secondary are actually pretty even on farm. So despite the fact they are completely being outlaned, which is always going to be tricky in a 2v1 situation, and there's no doubt about that one, you know, with the top level players that are in a 2-on-1 situation, they are definitely going to zone you out, cause you problems, make you lack the CS. But actually the 2 ADs staying very even, 57-55 CS between the 2.
Yeah, the whole strategy between lane swapping is you're banking on your lane swap to deny, or your 2v1 to beat that solo lane much harder than your solo get beaten. So in this case, it's just relatively even. Both are within 4 to 5 CS of each other.
So as it is at the moment, Hoodstomp, we have a gather in the middle here. You can see Paradoxical, he's got a couple of people just around him. He's got the support and jungler just going down the bottom there. Are they going to try and come around? They've just walked straight through a ward though, and that's immediately going to give Wild Turtle a bit of a hint that maybe they're going to try something out here. Instead, they're just going to head towards that bottom lane. Ping goes down. Wild Turtle's like, yeah, I kind of might need a little bit of help. Tribush Ward has just spotted out the 2 top lanes, though, heading down towards the middle lane. They're going to try to steal this blue buff if they can. There it is. Nintendo X will pick that one up. And that is a good another invade from Team Dynamic.
Yeah, they knew that they're going to lose that blue, so they didn't even go and stop it because, like I said, you have 2 people down bottom, so there's always going to be more bodies. So it just wasn't beneficial for CLG to come stop that blue.
Yeah, as it is at the moment, Vlad is actually being pulled away from his lane, so he's not been able to farm. He has got that bottom lane pushed pretty heavily, but Rumble is continuing the free farm. Zuna's going to dive in on towards Nintendo X here, and you can see that Zig actually coming around. He's going to just chunk down Zuna. Will take Zuna down. Wild Turtle also may well get chunked down by Zig. Zig manages to flash through, gets the double kill. Very nicely done. Requiem will should come out in a moment. Is he going to manage to use it up? You can see he's trying to get that layways down. He's actually too late to use the Requiem. Didn't even bother. There was no way he was ever going to get a kill off it. The question is, I think he should have just used it purely to try and force him away from this turret. I don't coming around the side, it's going to be Zion, but a beautiful ulti crescendo there, just about stopping him out. Means he's going to get the return kill straight away on the turret.
Oh, that was so not worth it, because if you look at the total gold count, Rumble only got 300. Well, Vlad got 300, but Sono also got 175. So anytime you dive for a kill and you give up an assist, it's just not worth it.
Not worth it at all. They do put a lot of damage on towards that mid turret. Zuna thought about diving on towards Pixel there, and a 4-on-1 would not be a wise choice. 4-3 in kills, 1k gold advantage to Team Dynamic. At the moment, the Ezreal ulti just zipping through the team there.
Oh,
and
that was such a good
beautiful
combo.
Stuff.
You know, that Ezreal ult hit, and they knew, all right, Tarek, we just got vision on him. He's at about 150 hit point. They called for the Karthus ult immediately, and it was just really well timed. It was good of them to recognize that Tarek was in kill range the moment that easy ult hit.
Yeah, so very nicely played there, and maybe trying to pick up a couple more, so that's why they played it. You know, I should never really question these players' plays. They know what they're doing way more than I do. It's always something that you get caught out on, but CLG Black managed to get a return kill on the back of that one with that combined double ulti. Very nicely done. Zion Spartan, though, starting to get some of that farm back. 35 CS compared to 36, so still Vlad keeping it honest. Neither of them have really got that massive farm on. They've just gone straight for boots and had to stack up as much as they can, whereas it's the AD carriers that are really getting the kills. You can see that it is all about Corki at the moment. Zig 3-0, got that Trinity Force well underway, as well as Ezreal got that Trinity Force well underway as well. 0-0-2, there's the red buff going to Zig. And you can see, meanwhile, Ezreal on your screen picking up those golems, returning to that top lane, and maybe they're going to try and close in around Zion Spartan at that top lane. You can see he's just in the position. He has got a ward in the tri-bridge, so he'd be well aware of anything that happens. Mid tower is going to go down very easily, and Team Dynamic going to continue that push on that mid lane. It's actually a 4-on-1 in the mid lane at the moment, so it's got a bit of a problem.
The thing with this 4-on-1, Karthus is going to get here. Between Karthus and Vlad, they're going to be able to clear the wave, and if they get a little too cheeky and start getting over-aggressive, you know, they can actually return this, the damage.
Yeah, Zion Spartan actually got to be careful. He might get caught out here in the jungle. You can see he was trying to come around. There was a sapling sat ready and waiting for him. The ping goes down. They know exactly where he is, so they're tracking his movement, and they are going to gather up a 4-man defense on that team. You can see Zuna's coming around. He's going to try and dive on towards Zion Spartan there. Thought about Twisted Advance, and instead he just flings that sapling back, and Hoodstop continues to lay that damage down.
What Cassiopeia is looking to do right now is she's not trying to get too aggressive. The way she lands a really good ult is to make sure her flash is up, so she can always position it in a way where she can land it on as many people as she can as possible, and also stun them at the same time. So right now she's not looking to be too aggressive. Zuna's
caught onto Nintendo X there. Does manage to catch down. The Wall of the Pain also comes down there. There's a power cord as well on towards him. They're not going to have enough damage, so Zuna is just going to force them away. Meanwhile, Corki's down that bottom. He's going to get some free farm, but CLG might well, as soon as they see him appear, in fact, he's going to come back up. Team Dynamic like, no, they've given the call out and say, no, we need you in this mid lane. CLG Black could easily push this mid turret down. 2-1 advantage currently Team Dynamic in terms of turrets. Hoodstomp getting a little bit of damage on him. In terms of Graves and Ezreal, how do you stack between those two?
The thing with Ezreal is if he can dodge the initial burst, he's going to be able to beat Graves one-on-one, because after the buckshot and collateral damage, he's really just a right-clicker, and he's going to be able to slow the attack speed. So depending on how good the Ezreal is positioning-wise, you know, you have potential to outplay Graves.
So it's basically Hoodstomp obviously goes with Ezreal. That's how he feels it. And as it is at the moment, CLG Black, they're having to 4-man stack here, and I've got a feeling that they may well walk into this one. Team Dynamic sat ready and waiting in that bush. It could be a Cassiopeia ulti. Oh, Cassiopeia ulti will go straight across. There we go. And that is going to be followed by the Rumble ulti. The Zion Spartan picking up a kill instantly. Wild Turtle's going to drop as well. That's going to be 2 kills. Ezreal did manage to take down Cassiopeia. The Requiem's going to go out. It's not going to be enough to get the damage down, though, and CLG Black going to back away from this one. Zion Spartan trying to make a mad dash for it, getting away. He's got absolutely no health. He's got no vision. Oh, the flash comes through from Zuna there, trying to get on towards Zig. Actually putting a lot of damage down on Zuna. Zuna needs to be careful now. He's got to back away. Pixel trying to get in there. Zion Spartan just going to come around the backside. Are they going to do enough damage? Zion Spartan's got to be careful, and Zig's going to have to Valkyrie away. Psycho Sid coming around. The flash actually coming out from a Hoodstomp. Will have an arcane shift in him. The mana very low. Can he get onto Pixel? Yes, they will. Psycho Sid is there. Zion Spartan, meanwhile, round that backside with Nintendo Dex is backing away in that tri-bush. They're going to continue diving. Ziggs needs to be very careful in this bottom lane. I keep calling him Ziggs. It's just Zig.
Oh man, you have the Nunu and Rumble there. They're hoping that Maokai wasn't chasing and was backing, and they're actually headhunting him. But lucky for Zuna, he was following his team even though he's low on hit point.
You know, CLG Black came out actually very well, considering they walked directly into a Cassiopeia ulti there.
You know, it wasn't that bad because the ult did hit Vlad and Sona. Sona as a support, you know, aside from her ult, doesn't contribute as much as if she was able to give, say, an Ezreal, that would have been so much better.
Yeah, it was followed by Rumble's ulti as well. Zion Sponge didn't have the damage, though. He has got those haunting guys in the Sorcerer Shoes we're so used to seeing there these days on the Rumble. Rumble really has come back into it, I guess you could say, of late. The last sort of, probably about 5 or 6 tournaments we've seen Rumble sort of dominating throughout that one. So,
well, Rumble was such a big factor in like the previous tournament, but didn't he just get a nerf?
He got a nerf, yeah. And,
so
and actually the European teams didn't tend to use Rumble too much in Gamescom just last week. He was banned out in a number of games, but honestly, he was not the favorite in that top lane.
Yeah, and I think for a while he was like the highest win rate champion in rank, so you saw him everywhere. And as soon as he received that nerf, he just disappeared off the map.
Yeah, it's the way the swing of things as it were. I mean, I guess Ezreal being picked up constantly at the moment. He didn't really have any buff at all. He got a new skin, and suddenly people started playing him again.
It's funny because he's one of the most played champion, but he has actually one of the lowest win rate this tournament.
Yeah, except he. Well, I mean, I think it obviously depends on the player and the skill. Psycho Sid just getting a little dive on him from Zion Spartan, a little bit too close to the two. Can't really do a great deal about it. They do have Taric and Corki coming to join him in that top lane. Pixel just lingering in that bush, and then puts a ward straight in his face, so Pixel's going to have to back away from that one. Zig in the meantime putting that damage down, trying to take this turret down very quickly. Of course, the turrets at the top and bottom did go down in 6 minutes. Not really a great deal gone down from there because they just got so aggressive. They've not been able to turn it into anything. Both teams really getting the same advantage, so nobody benefiting from it. Team Dynamic will take this top turret down, so it's going to be the 3rd turret of the game for Team Dynamic. There is 150 gold shared between them. Paradoxical trying to keep Hoodstomp away, and he's just going to flash away and continue farming in that bottom lane.
I was wondering why they didn't defend that tower. You know, they have that Karthus ultimate, which is probably not.
Oh, he
up
got
right
the
now.
steal. He got the steal, and Nintendo Dex just lingered. He had that ward in that bush. Actually, no, he didn't. Oh, he's got the ward just below. That's where the vision came from, and he managed to just stroll in, almost Kevin style. Actually, it wasn't Kevin. I'm trying to think who it was for SK Gaming. It was Aranea, of course. Just strolled in, level 1 versus CLG, and just stole away the blue buff quite simply. As it is, Team Dynamic, they're stacking up for this mid lane. We do see Wild Turtle backing off. That might be bad timing. However, Team Dynamic, did they spot it? Did they see him going back? They are pushing the bottom turret as well. So Paradoxical working on that bottom turret while CLG have to back off this mid lane, and the inner turret should go down here if they continue to put the damage on it. Zig instead turning to use those big bombs on towards Psycho Sid's face. Paradoxical is just lingering around that side, puts the slowdown. Team Dynamic should have enough poke to take this turret down, but CLG Black have responded and are going to force them away.
I'm a little curious how this is going to turn out. Like, generally when you pick Vlad, you're looking to play for that late game because it's very clear that Vlad isn't that strong in the earlier levels of the game, say level 1 through 12. He's not as super hyper AP like the other champions. And so, you know, you have that versus a Rumble, which has pretty good utility even without items all throughout the game. And so with Vlad hindered and Rumble hindered, you know, I'm thinking which one would be more beneficial to the team.
Well, right now, you've got to think in terms of farm. Oh, that's going to be a crescendo on towards Paradoxical in the middle, and Nintendo Dex is going to get taken out very low. The Rumble ulti was used in return, though. They are on the turret. Cassiopeia is going to pick up 1 kill. Vlad picks up another, and that's going to be Wild Turtle surely going down. Yes, he will do. Psycho Sid's going to be the next target. Zig's got to be careful, though. Doesn't get caught out. That's going to be the Requiem going out. Is it going to be enough to take him down? Yes, it will. That's going to be Corki dropping, and now Pixel's in trouble. It's support versus support. Bloodwater going aggressive, and Pixel backs away. We are all square, and that was an actual 4-for-4 engage. you are looking at the replay. You're getting focused on this one. You're cheating. Bloodwater, though, in that mid lane, he's actually finally found his advantage. He's like, yes, I can get some CS. I'm going to push onto this one. 10-10 kills. Very much 1k difference between the two. 3-1 turret advantage. So Dynamic, despite the fact they have that 2 turret advantage, are actually still pretty much down on gold. Despite it's only a 1k difference. So in terms of farm, you got to give it to Team Dynamic. Sorry, for the CLG Black. 123 CS. Both on AD carries, so very much even there. In terms of gold, though, you can see very much in the favor of, actually it's Cassiopeia I'm looking at down there, that's Corky. I can't see quite on the bottom of the preview screen there, but look at Karthus. Rod of Age is already completed. Rabador's death cap nearly on him compared to Cassiopeia. Hasn't even got anything completed yet.
You know, let's look at the gold count. It's 6,300 to 6,180. It's 6,250 now. So the gold count is within 50 gold of each other. So, you know, in terms of items, she's not really behind. You know, she just has components where she can't spend it on parts yet. So now she has that death cap. So she's pretty much leveled with Karthus now.
So there is the Rabadon's death cap completed by Cassiopeia. H Legion also by Nunu. Turret does go down 3-2 now in terms of turrets. Very close game between these two teams. Honestly, in terms of team fights, CLG Black have looked pretty good in the last two. Cassiopeia ulti followed by the Karthus diving in there. It's given him a big advantage. Hood Stomp, if he can land his damage in the right places, which seems to be working out. But the Rumble ulti seems to be the one that's forcing him back.
Yeah, the thing with CLG Black is, I think TD in general is just playing really well, but CLG just has a much better late game team comp. If you look at the type of damage, there's a lot of AoE magic damage, which Maokai just specializes against. In terms of negating, he can just drop that big circle, negate a lot of that damage. Vlad can go in, if he has incredible timing, he's going to be able to pull that Cassiopeia ult every time. And if he misses that, he can actually pull the Nunu ult or pull the Rumble ult, so he has a lot of opportunities to dodge a lot of damage.
Poke going out. Wall of Pain did manage to catch a few of them out there. That Team Dynamic are going to push on towards this one. There goes the Twisted Advance. They're going to go straight in. The Ezreal ulting back across them as well. Zuna taking a lot of the opening damage. Wild Turtle will go down. Zuna's surely going to drop as well. Great crescendo across Team Dynamic there. You can see the damage continuing to come out. Hoodstomp's trying his best to keep them at bay. And that's going to be Hoodstomp dropping down. He will go down to the poison there eventually, or Paradoxical. Meanwhile, Zion Spartan continuing to dive on towards Zuna. Just missing out on the leash there. But that was a 3-for-1 engage. This time Team Dynamic will push on. They took down the turret and they've got 4-man advance pushing on towards this inhibitor turret. Team Dynamic could take a big advantage of this fight.
That was such clutch play by TD right there. You know, I'm not sure if they're keeping track of Karthus' ult or not, but it was down the moment they engaged, or the moment COG engaged, so it might have been a missed sight by Maokai, but the moment that fight engaged,
they're going to dive. It's going to actually twist in advance. There goes the Karthus ulti. Could get a triple kill off this one.
Oh,
gets the double. Not quite Nintendo Dex. Bloodwater was not ready for that one. He could have picked up a double off the back of it. Very close stuff.
Oh,
we saw
God.
Reggie doing the similar thing. As soon as he spawned, hit that R, got a triple kill. But this time it was just a double.
Did you see the HP on Corky? It was about 30 hit point. Any type of damage would have just, you know, you can blow on him and you fall over.
Well, that's why I was saying Bloodwater wasn't really watching. He could have done a Q straight off the back of it and picked up a double.
Yeah, that would have been 4 for nothing right there.
And that's actually turned it into a Baron attempt by COG there. Nintendo Dex is around, but he's just not got the hit points to even get in and do that smite. Pixel, he's trying to interrupt them as much as possible.
The problem
CLG
here
aware
is
of this?
Nunu is there. He has potential to steal while Maokai isn't there. They're not going to be able to smite this. So if they don't kill Nunu, they can steal this. So they got to be careful.
Yeah, they're going for...
He has his smite up. He has his smite up.
Oh, Zig's coming round. Zig's going to do a lot of damage. Manages to take down one. Takes down Psycho Seed. The Baron was stolen as well. Beautifully done there by Nintendo. Oh, sorry, it was Nintendo Dex, wasn't it? Came round.
Yes.
Just managed to go down in the death, though. But that's going to be Zuna being picked up as well. 16-14, 17-14 now. Good turnaround by Team Dynamic here. And Bloodwater's desperately trying to get away from this one up the top as well. You can see Hoodstomp desperately running away. Ziggs is trying to close him down. He's caught on the turret, but surely Zig will catch up to him. Yes, he will. Blown to smithereens, no problem there. And Team Dynamic turned that into a very great play. Nintendo Dex really just proving why he's back in Team Dynamic.
It was a great decision by CLG Black to start on Baron. And the moment they saw Nunu, it should have like clicked in their head. It's like, oh, Nunu, can smite and consume this. We need to stop that.
They do need to stop it. They need to stop them taking down this inhibitor turret as well. The Nexus turrets are also being pushed, sorry. Team Dynamic all over this one. CLG Black have just about got back up in time. Twisted Advance coming out there, but Zuna is just going to get dropped in seconds straight away. Zig is unstoppable right now, starting to churn through CLG Black. Team Dynamic surely going to pick it up. There's a crescendo actually onto Zord. Zion Spawn taking damage from that turret, but the turret gets dropped down. Both turrets at the same time. Zig destroying them here. Just the Nexus is open. I don't think they're going to quite have enough to finish it off. CLG Black should be able to keep them at bay. There's the airstream ulti, just missed out. They all dodged out the way of it. Here. He's the only one that's getting kills really. 755, obviously that double. Has got that Rabadon's death cap complete. Team Dynamic with that Baron buff, but Baron buff is about... Oh, yeah, it's got about a minute left actually on it, so they could certainly turn things around here and try and pick on someone. Hoodstomp's got to be careful, he's very close to being caught out there. If Zig had a vision, he would have gone for it. Instead, they're going to go paint by the numbers, tutorial style, dive on towards this top turret. Paradoxical is coming in there. Don't worry guys, you will get vision shortly. As it stands, 26 minutes gone. I didn't realize how quick this game has gone.
This game is incredibly quick. It's just people playing very aggressive all game long. It wasn't like one of those games where you get the first kill at 14 minutes. You know, you get kills right off the bat.
Yeah, as it is though, it is the top turret that's being pushed here. You can see they're going on to it back in radio style, I believe, here, as we were in the days of Winamp. As it is 1914, the Team Dynamic are going to push on towards this top turret. They have a minion creep wave coming in. They are going to start chunking it down. Zig comes in, crescendo comes out from CLG, but it's not enough. Paradoxical is going to get dived on. Twisted Advance comes across. Zuna is going to get dropped. Paradoxical gets dropped as well, and that's going to be Wild Turtle surely going to go down. Psycho Sid with nothing left. Zig is just destroying them from the back. Hoodstomp's trying to keep them away. Here comes the Karthus ulti. Requiem will come out, will not have the damage though, and immediately that's actually Pixel that picks up the kill. Hoodstomp now going to get targeted on. Hoodstomp surely will drop down. Zig with one more kill. There we go. That's going to be the Nexus turret going down, and Team Dynamic are going to pick up the first game. It will be 1-0. Very well played, Team Dynamic. 22-16 the final kills, 10-2 in turrets. It proved Team Dynamic really well, much stronger team in that game. And there they are on your screen. Team Dynamic very happy with that one. The Rugrats, I believe they've been nicknamed. I'm not sure where that nickname come from, but that's all I keep seeing on Twitter.
Oh, Rugrats are like little
I know what the Rugrats are. I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Thanks for explaining it, Dan.
I figured you're from somewhere in Europe. You guys don't get the same programming we do.
It does get broadcast around the world. I am aware of that, but you know, I know they're a young team, but I wasn't sure if that was the full-on relevance. But you know,
my bad.
But Dan, how do you feel about that game?
Oh my God, it was such a good. I honestly thought it was a good decision by CLG Black to rush the Baron. They had 2 people dead. 2 people were so far away. The only one they had to deal with was Nunu.
Yeah.
And he walked into the Baron pit. They had full vision of him. They chased him. They just stopped pursuing him. It's like, oh, Nunu isn't around anymore. He walks around, flashes over, smites consume it. You know, had they sent any person to chase down Nunu, they could have very well just killed him. He was at about 300 to 400 hit point.
But in terms of kills, I mean, just look at the score for Zig. 10-1-10. Absolutely dominant in comparison to Hoodstomp, who was insistently had Ezreal 1-4-10.
Yeah.
It's a little bit unfair there. Let's just go over what exactly happened at the end of that. So basically, it was a straight stomp. I mean, they pushed in, they had the Baron, and they used it to their full advantage. They got into that middle, managed to take down the inhibitor turrets, and then pushed on towards the Nexus. And honestly, CLG Black were not really able to defend against it because they're up
Exactly.
against a Baroned up team.
You know, they had the Baron, they had mid and hip down already. The moment they lost Baron, what TD was, they swung in, they took the bottom and hip too. So when the stream cut out, there was only one tower, one inhib left, and there's already creeps pushing into the base without base tower. So it was just a matter of them just pushing slowly, but they just hard engaged it and just walked all over
And they
Black.
had the super minion advantage, obviously
Exactly.
pushing through there. Zig just poking down with range from with those bombs. So very well played by Team Dynamic. And there on your screen, CLG Black, they're going to have to do something to get back into this game because it worked out very badly for them in that one. Team Dynamic started off well and continued very well. We're going to go to commercial, guys. Game 2 will be coming up very soon.
As you can see, the numbers are looking excellent.
I don't believe this. I didn't get the memo. Why in the f did they get rid of Casual Fridays?
Sweating on the inside? Handle it on the outside with the all-day power of new Speed Stick Power.
Andy.
Yeah.
Good job.
New Speed Stick Power. Don't sweat it. Handle it.
This year, go big. Champ Sports. We know game.